Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad to have you here. Woo, made it to Sunday. I'm taping this really early Sunday morning, July 20th. Yeah, let's look at never a shortage of things to check in on, right? But of course, many of us have all of our eyes collectively on what's happening with the lawsuit that we'll call him Agent Orange. I was calling him FDT for a long time, but you'd be surprised how many people are like, "Who is that?" So I think the orange. More people are certainly understand that. So we'll call him Agent Orange, right? And by the way, if you are new to the channel, you just landed here, I'm so glad to have you. I'm a Fefe with Touch by Tarot and Beyond. Clearly, I'm a tarot reader. I'm also a former newspaper journalist, and I am an initiated priestess in Wiccan and African traditions. So kind of mix it up a little bit in my approach to the readings and try to give you some good content. That said, let's do some of that, right? All right. So, Fox News is in a panic, you all. That's what I'm getting from Spirit. Like, they are really in a panic with everything that's happening and the way that Agent Orange has had some victories over major media that he's accused of being too left. We know about it. ABC, now we see what's going on with Paramount, etc. But Murdoch, not only is this about the Wall Street Journal, but here we go with the ties to Fox News, right? To Fox, the whole media empire. I want to go to Spirit, you all, and see. There is a lot of talk out there about this is all, smoke and mirrors, and that part of the reason for Agent Orange even filing the lawsuit was not to see it, be actually litigated, but to throw the salvo out there and say, listen, the deal. You're going to have to pay me money to make all this go away. Murdoch, on the other hand, we understand has been saying, okay, bring it on. Let's see how this all goes, right? I want to ask first, will this settle? Was this, is it true that a lot of this had to do with posturing and essentially sending a warning to the Murdoch empire that, when you do this, we will sue and it's going to cost you money. So I want to see if it's going to settle. That's the first question. Spirit, will the lawsuit that Agent Orange, who that is, for entertainment purposes only, will that lawsuit settle? Will the Wall Street Journal, will the Murdoch empire or Murdoch himself, will that lawsuit settle? We have the Three of Swords, you all, coming straight out of the deck. Okay. Doubtful. And for those who read, I have a lot of readers who follow the channel, and I'm honored by that, by the way. When other readers follow you, there's a certain level of respect for your gift. So, Marquetti Tarot, if you're interested. All right. Three of Swords. That also is, I don't want to call it regret because I don't think Agent Orange is really capable of that, right? We know. But there's something that, they were friends and on the same team for a very long time, right? Well, friends in quotes. So there's a lot of regret that it has even come to this between two extremely conservative, titans is the word that my guides have given me. There's a level of men like who, Agent Orange knows he doesn't have a friend on the face of the earth, really, not a true friend. We have the Five of Cups coming to back this up. There's a lot of regret, you all, between these two men that it has come to this. But it's also interesting because Murdoch and the Wall Street Journal, they knew that this was going to come when they made their decision to run the story. With the pick, for those, can't imagine that you haven't seen it by now, but just in case. So for those who haven't seen the release of the story around this birthday card, apparently that Agent Orange sent with a drawing, a very, explicit drawing, to Epstein back in the day for his 50th birthday. So the Five of Cups coming with the Three of Swords, there's a real struggle here. It's almost as if, and I'm getting a confirmation. If you read with me and you sit with me on the channel, you know that that's my confirmation when I'm on track, when I'm in a flow, and my spirit guides are saying, yeah, you're on point with it. I get aces. So there's an Ace of Cups there. Now that actually is feeling. So does that prompt them to settle this? Does that push this matter more in the get rid of it, settle it? There's the Two of Swords. There's a conflict. A decision is being made. How far do we want to take this? Of course, Murdoch has to say, he has to back up his enterprise and say, if this is what we have to do, bring it on. We'll take it as far as we need to. But there is a sense of regret. Murdoch's no spring chicken. What, 94 years old? And there's the Seven of Wands, though. Stand your ground. Wow. You all, this lawsuit, it's as if neither of them wants to, Agent Orange or Murdoch, they don't want to go down this road. This isn't, but it's almost like they both feel compelled to do it. That's how the Seven of Wands is feeling. This is an energy of, here's the line in the sand, and I will defend my position. Neither one of these men are those accustomed to having to back down, clearly, right? So I don't know that we'll see a settlement. Hangman, not anytime soon. There's something here, you all. Is there more? So will the Wall Street Journal, will we see more? And what prompted me in this reading, you all, was Fox News, because we know that's the MAGA's, cake and ice cream right there, right? But Murdoch is, his entity is what owns Fox News. So do they have to do this? There's a Four of Swords. They see it coming. The pundits, the head honchos at Fox News see this coming. How do you cover this story when it affects the very entities that pay you? And if it winds up costing, if there were to be a settlement and it winds up really costing the Murdoch Empire big dollars, don't see it happening. I think the lawsuit is for what, 10 billion? Interestingly, we know that it was filed in Florida, Cannon's area, and she supposedly is shopping it around to see, which judge would be most friendly for entertainment purposes only. And we have the Eight of Cups. Okay. So who's that walks away, Spirit? Is this Agent Orange that eventually capitulates and walks away? Is this the DOJ that walks away? Emperor. Spirit be talking, y'all. I love this. Yeah. Eventually, he's gonna, what do they call it, taco? Yeah. Eventually, somehow, he will see Murdoch's not gonna let this go away, and he will. He has the backing, he has the legal experts, etc., etc. And it also feels like he's got more. Spirit, is there more besides that one letter that was released? And we're going to look at Ghislaine in a moment. Because there's a lot of questions around, was she the one that managed to get that into their hands, into the hands of the Wall Street Journal? There's a Six of Cups, a return to old. Now that feels more like a settlement. These two old titans figuring out a way to finally sit down at the table. And there's the Knight of Pentacles. That's somebody within the Justice Department. Ultimately, not going to win this lawsuit. And a lot of experts have said that. That's not just my spiritual guidance. That's also a lot been said around that. So not going to win this lawsuit. Agent Orange already knows. This is a no. This is a no-go. They're not going to win it. The journal has the goods to prove it, that this was something legit, or as legit as they believed it could be, in order to release the story. Fox News is over a barrel. That's why where's the Hangman? Fox News is over a barrel because they recognize this is one of the biggest stories, and biggest events that's happening right now in politics. The MAGA base is all over this. They can't afford to ignore it or not cover it. So they're over a barrel because, this is their bread and butter. And Spirit is giving me another confirmation, Ace of Swords. They're going to have to cover this story. And what's going to be Fox News. And what's really going to be interesting about that, you all, is how do you how do you cover it in a way that on the one hand, is continues to be rabidly supportive. That's the word my guys just gave me, rabid. Rabidly supportive of Agent Orange, and at the same time recognizing that this could very well, this impacts the company that cuts your paycheck. That's going to be really interesting. The producers, the news producers over there, you might even see Spirit. Are we going to see some turnover at Fox News? Are we going to see some turnover within the leadership at Fox News? The Knight of Swords, there are people already talking about, do we want to go through this? Do we want to stay? Because they see the writing on the wall. The fact that this story is not going away. They have to cover it as a news organization. And there's Temperance to say, how do we serve both masters, right? Temperance is a card of polarity. It's hot and cold. It's up and down. It's where you have opposite energies that somehow have to come together and create something new from it. Alchemy, right? So this is the Fox News is realizing they got to serve two masters. They got to serve their boss and the corporate entities that pay them, and they still have to serve their manga base. They don't want to lose the viewership. They don't want to take the heat. So they are in a pickle, you all. It'll be very, very interesting to see how they try and portray themselves as being fair in their coverage, to Murdoch as well, but knowing all along that they got to keep their viewers. And financially that makes sense for Murdoch as well. All right. Not going to settle though. That's not going to settle right away, and not going to be won. This is something that's going to drag out for a while, and it's going to be damaging to both organizations, or both entities, I should say. Keep in mind, who's paying for this lawsuit? Like, right? Where's the money coming from? Right? Taxpayers? DOJ, is the DOJ gonna take over on this and pour resources and taxpayer dollars into that to defend against Murdoch? Not gonna go over well at all. More deep state sort of energy, right? All right, Ghislaine Maxwell, did she leak that photo? Spirit, did Ghislaine Maxwell leak that photo? Or certainly tell them where to go get it, and was she a driving force behind that Wall Street Journal story? The Sun, yes, thank you, Spirit, because remember, you all, she's if I got my facts straight, she's appealing. Her case is undergoing appeal, saying that she didn't get a fair trial, deals were broken, blah blah blah. So having this story come out, putting pressure on the administration to do whatever needs to be done to make it go away. She wants to, she wants to continue to be on the planet, right? There's been some talk about that as well. Let's see. 4 of Cups. Because she's feeling doubtful, and there's a lot of dissatisfaction within her legal team, around how the fact that so many others have been given breaks, and for someone like her who considered herself a close ally of Agent Orange for many years. We know that this was a serious relationship between Agent Orange and Jeffrey Epstein for many, many years. And Ghislaine was right there for all of it. So there's a part of her that I'm getting with this 4 of Cups. There's a part of her that's sort of struggling and teetering, saying, well, surely he's going to help me out, Agent Orange. Surely somehow he's going to help me out. But if I have to move some marbles on the table to push that while my appeal is in motion, then let me do what I got to do, because I got to make this case important to him. And I got the Magician, confirmation. Thank you, Spirit. That's moving the pieces around. That's creating the circumstances that could potentially help her case. Spirit is, so to the contrary, I know there have been a lot of questions around, is she going to keep, blowing this up? It doesn't benefit her. What I'm seeing, you all, between this sun, the Four of Cups, and the Magician that just came, it doesn't, her thing is freedom and or being excused or pardoned. Spirit, will the administration strike a deal somehow, some way? MAGA anger notwithstanding, I know that's coming, but will they strike a deal to keep her silent and make her Two of Swords? They're trying to figure out what the heck do we do about her. It's almost too obvious if something happens to her at this point, right? For entertainment purposes only, always, right? What do I know? And we have Judgment. Is she gonna get a reduced sentence? Will there be something that gets worked out for her? For Ghislaine Maxwell? Is she gonna get a reduced sentence or something? Three of Pentacles, they're gonna work something out, you all. And I don't know that I'm getting a sense of there may be something else damaging that comes out in the meantime to sort of remember that sun energy? This is the young girls. This is youthful, life-giving energy. Like this is all the energy around Epstein and Ghislaine, by extension. She set this up. She set a lot of it up, supposedly, allegedly. So this Three of Pentacles is her attorneys. There will be a lot happening behind the scenes because the quicker they can get her squared away, the quicker they can start to move past this whole story. And the last thing I wanted to look at is Agent Orange turning on Pam Bondi, right? We've been seeing, some interesting developments around that relationship starting to fracture because clearly he needs this gone. He needs this gone like yesterday. And so her saying, okay, then I'll request the transcripts from the jury indictment, knowing that apparently there are laws and procedures in place where those things are so tightly sealed that in order, like the process to try and get those transcripts released could take forever, and he doesn't have forever for this story to go away. So in the meantime, it's all right, Pam, like if we need more, like what are your ideas about how to help get me out of this? What can you do? You're not doing enough. Spirit, will Bondi be replaced as the Attorney General? Is she on her way out? Is Pam Bondi on her way out? Will she be released as Attorney General? We have Justice. Wow, came right out, and you all saw me shuffling. I see that as the decision being weighed. Actually, not so much yes or no, but right now, that we're getting confirmation that there's serious consideration being given to that. And keeping in mind, you all, he has been extremely, the whole Hegseth stuff, like everybody who's done whatever, Rubio's, done, like Besant, all of them, the whole cabinet essentially has made some missteps. Christy Nome, like, let's not even go there. And he has just remained really steadfast because one thing we know he never wanted was to have the same reshuffling and disruption in his administration as he had the first go round. So this Justice card, weighing what the heck do we do with her, weighing what the heck do we do with her, Hangman energy. Don't know what to do with her or about her because, of course, then it becomes who's her replacement. How do we get that replacement confirmed? He knows the Senate is very unhappy. All of Congress very unhappy with him, but he's had him over a barrel. And there's the Fool. There is a potential, you all, that we're going to see someone new. Pam Bondi may leave, but it will be. They're trying to consider how do we do it and who's next. Who can we put in line after her that we can get through and get confirmed? And there's the King of Swords. There's a male that they're looking at I don't know who that is. Maybe some of you have some ideas, and please do share in the comments. There's a male that they're looking at to replace her. And there's a 7 of Swords. Deception, deceit, and conversations that are being had behind closed doors and without. She knows it. She senses it. Spirit, show me the energy, please. Let me not sound too demanding. I'm sorry. Please show me the energy around Pam Bondi. Does she see the end coming for her? Does she see, and will she resign? Will she resign? We have the 9 of Pentacles. She feels the pile on. She'll do what's told. That's what I'm hearing. She won't make an independent decision. Like, I realize that I'm not capable here. You know, that was another thing that we knew. There were so many people being appointed to these positions that were not ready. She had a lot of experience, as you know, in Florida as Attorney General, etc. It's not that she didn't know how to do the job, but not this job. And we have the Chariot. Between the Chariot and the Fool, you all, I think she's moving on. And but what's interesting is, I'm getting from some of this other energy, so they're trying to identify who will replace her with that King of Swords. The 9 of Pentacles is this pile on and recognizing that she's in over her head. But it also looks like between the Chariot and the Fool, it looks like they're going to do it in a way that that doesn't appear that he just got fed up and fired her, right? There is a he wants to, because of her loyalty and her willingness to do whatever he's told her to do, Agent Orange, talking about Bondi, that he does not want to do it in the typical fashion that he would with someone he was really angry with, right? So it has to be done in a way that appears logical, is the word that Spirit is giving me, right? But Pam Bondi is in, she's not going to make it out of this, you all. I can't see, I'm not getting a sense of timing, but I do get a sense that it's in motion. And I do get a sense that she understands that that there are conversations being had around her. That 7 of Swords we got, there are conversations about who this is, who that King of Swords is. She knows who that is, and that the conversations are being had to get him in place. But it's all, how do we not look like we're just having a knee-jerk reaction and look like we've done the right thing, so that even if she comes out and decides and announces, you know, I will resign, but it won't be because she got kicked out. You know, it won't be because he turned on her. He's very acutely aware. His image is taking such a hit right now that he's trying to be very, very careful about how he handles this relationship with Bondi. And I just heard that's also a lot to do with Susie Wiles in the background, telling him be extremely careful about how you handle this, because you've got to position it that you have a smoother road, rather than resistance, to get this replacement, whoever this King of Wands is. All right, you all. So that's what I got for today. I hope it was helpful. I hope it gave us some things to talk about, think about, as you know, as we continue to ride this wave. And lots of things coming up. You know, there's going to be no shortage of events coming to the fore. I'm not going to do it today, but this coming week, I'm also starting to hear a lot about and get a sense from Spirit as well, in the news and spiritually. So J.D. Vance, Don Jr., 2028. And I know there's been some issues concerning health, like will we see J.D. Vance in there or have to step in sooner than that? If there is a health crisis, or, you know, something happens beforehand. And Spirit has said, should that happen, he wouldn't last very long anyway, because he doesn't have the backing. He still is not well liked. However, there's now I'm seeing and hearing there's this, you know, there are these moves being made to align him more with Don Jr., who we understand had a lot to do with Agent Orange is his dad's pick of JD, who he didn't want JD. He wasn't crazy about JD. So there's some stuff going on there between the two of them, but I want to take time on that one. I'll probably look at that pretty soon. All right. All right, you all. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Don't forget, please hit that like and subscribe button. It helps the algorithm get out there in YouTube to get my channel out to more people. If you're interested in a membership, I do live monthly Zoom meetings privately with my members at the last Friday of every month at 7 p.m. Eastern. So I've got one coming up on this Friday. The details, and then I also do bonus videos and content, and just have sort of a separate community in my membership that way. So would love to have you be a part of that. Please check the description box below for a link on how to sign up for that. Take really good care of yourselves. Chin up no matter what. Know who you are. Shoulders back. Stay relaxed. Stay in your power. And your power comes from your heart. Remember to breathe. All right? I'll talk to you real soon. Bye.